Hey everyone, Tyler here at The Movie Beat. Welcome back to another Korean movie review. Would you believe it? We've got a new movie that came out. It's 2020 and this movie was planned to come out in March. It is June now, but because of the COVID situation, people not wanting to go to the theaters, it was postponed and it's out. So finally got to go see it. There was probably 2 other people in the theater. They took my temperature before I went in, and it was a pretty cool it felt like a private viewing experience. So overall, this movie Intruder is a very intriguing new mystery thriller film from Korea. It has some very good performances and a surprising twist, I would say. So it is worth noting that this is a first-time feature from director Son Won-pyung. It also might be worth noting that she is female because there's just not a lot of women directors outside the independent scene from my experience that I've seen. So kind of cool there. Intruder isn't a big film per se, but I do feel like with a lot of the bigger movies being postponed, also the 2 main actors in this film, Kim Mu-yeol and Song Ji-hyo, also very popular. So I think that contributed to the buzz around this movie, and it did get a very big release. So let's get into my review. The successful architect Sojin, played by Kim Mu-yeol, suffers from bouts of acute psychological distress after losing his wife in a brutal hit-and-run accident, and has temporarily moved back in with his aging parents. With the culprit still on the loose, he undergoes hypnotherapy sessions aimed to help recall evidence from the day his wife was killed. After months of failed results, he's urged to take medication and to focus on raising his young daughter. One day, his younger sister Yoojin, played by Song Ji-hyo, who disappeared as a child 25 years earlier, returns out of the blue with no memory of her past and begins living with the family. A strange new light is brought into the home as Yoojin becomes a big help around the house. But Sojin remains skeptical about the authenticity of his sister's return and hires an investigator to dig deeper into her past. The more Sojin uncovers about his sister, the worse his paranoia grows and the stability of his family is threatened forever. Alright, so first thing I want to say about Intruder is that it is very, very similar to the earlier supernatural thriller film that came out this year called The Closet. Both movies are about a father whose wife died horribly in an accident and who's also raising a young daughter. The father is also experiencing this psychological, emotional distress. Both films are also set in a large, dark house. Both widowed fathers are architects, and their young daughters become a very central part of the story. And their relationship, as far as, how to raise them correctly and just to move on, is a big factor of the story. But where The Closet went more supernatural, Intruder explores more real-world phenomena surrounding the occult, themes relating to mental stability, belonging, arise as characters confront similarly bizarre threats that stem from neglecting familial duties. And I'm really actually glad that Intruder was delayed several months, because I feel like if it did come out earlier, these similarities would have been a bit more glaring and just more awkward. Kim Mu-yeol gives a very committed performance as the widowed father, but I feel like his role is going to frustrate people as he isn't really very logical in a lot of cases. This is an actor who is, I think, very well liked, outside of the acting sphere, and he's kind of got in a famous relationship, but something about when I watch his movies, he's got a very interesting screen presence that either, kind of gets at you. I don't know if you've seen the film like Eungyo, but something about him kind of just bothers you when you watch him. In this movie, he was much more like relatable, but also just there was logical conflicts that this character faces that, like I said, could be very frustrating. Song Ji-hyo is probably the most interesting to watch in this movie. Besides being a regular on the hit variety show Running Man, this is sort of a bigger role for her, domestically speaking at least, and I think it is a very good one, and maybe will help her get into other bigger films as a leading role, because something about her character in this movie, she was really good at bringing a lot of mystery to her role, which was essential to the whole story, and she gives some really good creepy looks in this film that add to that whole thriller tone and just make that uneasy vibe. Overall, I feel like Intruder is an interesting take on the home invasion genre, because typically you'd have the unlawful break-in, coming in through the doors, or some kind of kidnapping where they do some quick terror and damage. But in this one, you've got someone coming in, lawfully in broad daylight, capable of inflicting similar kind of harm, but more over a prolonged period of time, and they're doing it very methodically and calculated. So it's almost scarier in that sense, which really makes for some gripping entertainment. Albeit it's a bit far-fetched, fun to see, fun to watch. So Intruder gets pretty twisted, but not too crazy. If you've seen the movie Hereditary, there were a few moments while watching Intruder where I thought it was going in that direction in all the right ways, but the movie actually decides to play it a bit safer. So for my money, it could have ramped it up a few more notches. I think Intruder sort of loses its mystique as it tries to explain away a lot of the weirdness, which I sort of want to be left after a movie going, what was that, rather than, oh, it was that. So I might compare Intruder to one of those airport novels that you picked up on some kind of end cap kiosk right before you boarded the plane, and you just read straight through it. Maybe you even skipped your meal, right? Real page turner. You just can't wait to tell somebody about it. And the first person you meet, how was the flight? And you say, oh my god, I read this great just mystery thriller novel. Oh, well, I can't remember the title. Sort of like that. So for that, I want to rate Intruder a 6 out of 10. Very watchable, but it loses a lot of its rewatchability because, like I said, it tries to explain away a lot of that mystique that I like. So let me know what you guys think about Intruder, and if you're going to go out and see it, because there's not a lot of new Korean movies out there to watch. I did see that, one of the best poster designers in Korea, Propaganda, they got their English poster up, so maybe that means Intruder is going to see a bit of a wider release, so that would be cool. Let me know, guys. Until next time, I'm Tyler at The Movie Beat. Keep watching movies.